Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi, my name is Siti Nordiana binti Yusof, and today I'm going to present my learning from experience assignment. So in this task, I have to do an interview with a safety and health practitioner to find out what their roles are, their responsibilities, their experiences in managing OSH at their workplace, their opportunities, challenges, and some other things. So first, let's meet my safety and health officer. His name is Muhammad Firdaus bin Kamaruddin. I called him Encik Daus. He's from Pahang, and now he's working for Tech Hill Project Sendirian Berhad. It's a civil construction for high-rise building, and he's now working as a safety health officer. Okay, he has been in this industry, in this safety industry for 10 years, and now he is working as a SHO. This is his 6 years as SHO. And before this, he's also been work in the oil and gas industry, the manufacturing industry, and now he's working for the in the civil infrastructure industry, where there are MRT and LRT and also other civil building. First, I asked him about what are his roles in his company, and his answer is very simple. He said that my roles and responsibilities are as SHO are all as stated in the Act 514, which is the OSHA Act, the Occupational Safety and Health Act. And he lists down some, for example, advising the employer, inspect the plant, the equipment, machinery, investigate accidents, and also being the secretary of Safety and Health Committee, preparing reports, providing training and awareness, assist officers to do an inspection, for example, officers from JKKP, CIDB, and also KKM. And all of that, when I checked, they're all stated in the law book. He also said that his job is to carry out programs related to safety and health, and then do risk assessments such as the HIRAT, JSA, and SOP. And also, it is important as an SHO to alert with the law amendments, because it is to make sure there are no violation of law to any act. And so he will do the legal and other requirements register, and he will do the evaluation of compliance to make sure that he has not doing violations to any law. And I believe there are so many other job and responsibilities that he have in his company. Next, I asked him about what law that is most relevant in his jobs. And his answer is there are so many that is relevant, such as the OSHA, FMA, EQA, CIDB Act, the UBBL, and other things that he lists. And because it's not only the main act that he has to remember, but also there are regulations, COP, order, and also guidelines. And I asked him whether he memorize all the laws, because it's too many. And he said that it's not like that, but we have to know what the main part is. Then we'll know where that specific part is placed in an act. And we know that there is a regulation about a specific work. And I told him that as a student, I still find it difficult to remember, to understand the law. And he said that it's fine, because when he was a student, he also faced the same thing. And he actually asked me to show him my law book, and I showed him this book, and he said that it was too clear, it was too bursy, and he advised me to label each sections and each regulation maybe like this, so it is easier to understand and to refer to. Next, I asked him about his experience reporting an accident. However, throughout his career as SHO, he has never experiencing any accident or something like that requires him to fill out the JKKP6 form. But when he was working as the SSS, Safety Site Supervisor, indirectly he knows the flow. So he told me what he knows, and first thing, when there is any accidents happen, refer the accidents classifications in Schedule 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then if it requires them to report, then we must notify the nearest DOSH office as soon as possible using the JKKP 6 form or JKKP 7 form. And then after that, we must do the accident investigation. We must find the root cause, do corrective and prevention measures. And then in 7 days, we must submit the report into to the DOSH office. And lastly, next year, before 31st January, we must update all the accidents using JKKP 8 as a record. When I asked him how he did all the reports, how he submit, he said that he's using the official letter, the Surat Rasmi. Then I asked him what happened after we report a case, an accident, and then first he said that we must submit the evidence to DOSH, and then DOSH will send their officers, their pegawai penyiasat to the site depending on the situation. For example, they might send the forensic unit, and then they will give the company the notice of prohibition, so they have to stop the activity right away. And then if they found any violation of law, the case will be brought into court. Next, this is his experience facing a situation where there is accident happen. This MRT concrete block collapsed from the height of 12 meters onto 3 people. That SBG weighed more than 600 tons, and then it falls onto people. And he said to me that all the mayat are hancur, and it's very upsetting. And due to this case, the company lost a lot, about 20 million, because they have to do the machinery idling, they have to pay the workers, and the rebuilding costs are high because they have to rebuild the concrete block. And then he told me what the root cause of this accident, and he said it's very simple. It's not because of engineering failure, but it because of a shortcut and miscommunication that leads to a disaster like this. Next, I asked him whether he has a court experience, but he said he never experienced being a witness in the court, but he once got called to give statements by the pegawai penyiasat. Next, I asked him about some opportunities, especially during the COVID-19 crisis, but he said it's just the same like other job, but so far it is okay. And when I asked him about what is the opportunity being a female SHO, he said that regardless of gender, what is more important is the knowledge, the skill, the experience, and place here means where is you placed. He gave me 2 examples, working in oil and gas industry and also working in the construction industry. First, if we work in the oil and gas industry, it is less challenging because in that industry, in ONG, they have well implemented the occupational safety and health management system. Besides, working in that industry, it is like the process is like a circle. From that circle, we can monitor and do continual improvement until that one system is successful. It doesn't matter whether it's a safety system, a health system, or also quality system. However, in the construction industry, it is quite challenging because in construction, we have to start building, build and then there has a finish, and then again they repeat. There is a start and there is a finish. And because there are so many different types and designs of buildings, and so many repeating, they will encounter so many varieties of hazards, and sometimes new hazards exist. That's why he said working in the construction is more challenging. Next, I asked him about challenges being working as an SHO. And first, I asked him what happened if the work cannot be finished at time. And then he said that in every project, we can claim the EOT, the extension of time. However, if the work cannot be finished due to accidents, we cannot claim the EOT. However, he told me that the company will use different reasons to claim the EOT if any accident happen. For example, they will give reasons based on the VO, and also the drawing discrepancy and some other reasons. Next, I asked him about the challenges being working as a middleman, because as an SHO, we have to be a middleman between the employer and the employees. And that's what I first said, but he corrected me. He said there is another one body, which is the authorities. So that is one new thing I've learned. As an SHO, it's not only the middleman between the employer and the employees, but also the authorities. And he said that usually the employer will be so difficult to understand the situation. As an SHO, when he says something, the employer will usually ignore them. And when there are unwanted accident happens, then they will take action. That's the challenge. But he said that so far there is no misunderstanding happen. And he said that in the past, the employer are so much worse than now, because now the employee is much better, because in the past when they are advising, but they are being ignored by the employer. And then sometimes there are SHO where their cars are splashed with paint, and sometimes they have to wait outside with the employees. And that's what happened in the past, because nowadays all the employers are better compared to the past. And lastly, I asked him about violation of law, whether as an SHO, is there any special circumstances that needs us to violate the law. And then he answered me, if we follow all the rules in SHO regulation, apa je loh yang kita nak langgar? Because our job is only advising. So I assume that as an SHO, there are no specific circumstances which allows us to violate the law. And this is his last word to me. He said that we must be mentally strong because in this industry it is so challenging. And yeah, I do agree with him. And from the interview, I've learned so many new things. Especially I've learned so many new short forms because of the construction terms, and also the SHO terms. And also I've learned about the authorities, because it's not only between employer and employees, but also there are authorities. And also lastly, as an SHO, our job requires us to obey the law, so we cannot avoid the law, because in that law it specifies what is our work and what we have to do. So that's all from me, and yeah, thank you very much.